Good morning. I'm Robbie Crispin, and this is Quick Court, the fastest way to justice. We're here today in the case between Daniel Summers and Jimmy Lee Marcus. Daniel, the defendant, will be representing himself this morning. Jimmy, however, has his personal attorney, Fred. Daniel has been accused of taking a football from Jimmy. Daniel, is there anything you would like to say before this case begins? Daniel stammered. Hi, Dad? How about you, Fred? Would you or your client like to add anything before this case begins? We are going to win it, they laughed in unison. The bailiff spoke up. Please rise. For the Honorable Judge Susan Triton. All right, said the judge. Let's get this moving. I have 9 more cases to do today. The case of Jimmy versus Daniel is now in session. Fred will begin his opening statement. Thank you, said Fred. Now believe me, it is a common sight to see bullying on a school playground. But that doesn't mean we can't do anything about it. My client is going to speak for children everywhere. And we, he finished, are going to make justice out of the most recent case of it at West Elementary School. Thank you, Fred. Now, seeing as we speed things up in this court, you'll also provide your opening statement here, too. So Daniel, with a grumpy look on his face, began. Okay, sure, so I'm a little mean on the playground. But I don't do all the mean stuff there. And you can ask my teacher, I've only had 2 detentions. So I'm declaring myself innocent until that Jimmy kid over there provides some proof. Thank you for your input, Daniel. Fred, you may call your witness. I call my client Jimmy to the stand. Jimmy and Fred walked over. So Jimmy, could you please explain your day that this happened? Certainly, replied Jimmy. It started at 12 o'clock, recess time. I was playing a game of catch with a football in the playground. But then, Daniel walked up. I checked the ball basket, he growled, and I didn't see any more footballs in there. And I want to play football with my buddies, he added. I was scared. Well, my friend and I are almost done with it, so we'll let you have it when we're done, okay? But recess is only half an hour long, reminded Daniel. And to play football, you need a lot of time. Well, I had it first, I said to him. And I'm going to have it last, he barked. He snatched the football and ran away. Well, you see, right outside the playground there's a little cemetery. And when I have bad days, I just hang out there. Daniel always gets what he wants, I whined to myself. He'd just play innocent if I were to tell the coach. I wish I had something to help me set things right, I said. Or someone, perhaps. Yeah, I wish I had a personal attorney. And then there was some sort of rumble. And then this tall, dressy man came up. Gee, he groaned. That's the longest I've ever slept. Oh, hey kid, he said. Are you lost? No, my school's right over there, but I don't want to go back. Why? He asked. You need to go to school to be successful. It's more like I go to school to be bullied, I sobbed. Someone named Daniel keeps stealing my stuff. I only need somebody to prove he's causing trouble. The man pondered. Well, I've been out of the business for a while. But I've never turned down a client. What's your name? My name's Jimmy, I told him. I'm Fred, he said, your new attorney. We're going to bring some justice back to your school. At that moment, I was so happy. It turned out that while Fred was asleep, his house was sold. So my mom let him sleep over in the guest room. And we spent the night thinking about how we would rat out Daniel. And the next day, as I was playing in the playground with the football, Daniel came back. Hold it! It was the guy from the newspaper. Now, seeing as I am with the local newspaper, he began, I should know one thing. Where's the evidence that Daniel's behind this? A good question, my good man, said Fred. Go on, Jimmy. Fred borrowed my mom's video camera, and he was recording everything from the other side of the playground. "What's up, Jimmy?" smirked Daniel. "The guys and I want to play some football. With that football." "Sorry, Daniel," I said. "I'm using it." "Not anymore." Ha ha ha, he laughed. "I have the camera right here," said Jimmy. "Gather around to see the evidence." "Well, Daniel," chuckled Fred, "are you going to argue with that?" "Do I have to?" squirmed Daniel. "You could object. But at this rate, I would just lose the case. Because if you tried to argue with that proof, you'd be lying. And the bailiff swore you in." "All right, I confess," shouted Daniel. "I steal the footballs from the others, okay? What's my sentence?" "We'll just give you a day in the quick prison," said the judge. "Case closed." "So, Jimmy, are you happy now?" asked Fred. "You bet I am," smiled Jimmy. "But what about all the other times I'll need an attorney?" Fred chortled. "Well, the agency doesn't really want to hire me back. They don't even think I'm alive anymore. So I'll be your personal attorney, okay?" "That sounds great," Jimmy agreed. A kid with a personal attorney. Who thinks of that?